Hey guys, I'm Jeb, and yesterday I went through Gul'dan with my guild, and today I'm going to show you how a little lock point of view and tutorial for how to get this boss down effectively on Heroic. So first things first, I'm going to be running the normal Soul Conduit build, so Malefic Grasp, Contagion, Soul Conduit, and Siphon Life, and that's about it. So the first phase is pretty easy. You want to make sure that you get your pre-pot in. And what I do on this is I save my temporal thing, that little like mini hero, for when the second ad comes out, the Inquisitor. So before this, I'm just going to hard DPS Gul'dan. I don't feel like I need to go on the other ads. I want to get as much damage down on Gul'dan so that we can really like push the phases in the next part. All this damage matters. If you don't have as much gear as I do, don't stand in that beam. I just know I can get away with it because I have a lot of stamina. You don't really want to stand in the hand of Gul'dan either. I kind of do that too, because once again, when you have a lot of stamina, don't stand. That will kill you. Don't stand the obelisks. But in general, just avoid AoEs. And on the Inquisitor, you'll notice I'm going to dot him up. I'm going to pop my hero buff, and I'm just going to go as hard as I can onto him. I'm going to drain him with everything up. I'm going to make sure that I get as many UA resets. I probably pop my Reap a little bit early there. And I'm going to make sure he dies. And then I'm going to make sure Gul'dan keeps his agony up so I don't have to ramp it up later. And then I go into Dzorix. The rest of this fight is kind of just like avoid standing in AoEs. I do it anyways, so don't when it comes to mechanics, just keep an eye on which way Gul'dan's facing before the breaths. And then if it's a circle in general, it's bad unless it's the pink healing one for you from your healers. And that's about it. The one caveat to this hero thing while we're watching me get back, oh, by the way, there's a little trick you can do. You can put your demonic portal down right in front of him so that when he knocks you back, you can instantly go back and start DPSing in position. One thing about the hero buff is you want to do it when he's not going to be using a fell ability, like a fire ability. So you notice that he pops bonds, and then I know liquid hellfire is not coming up for the duration of my hero, so I pop it right after, and I go sink as much damage into Gul'dan as I can. I put one dot on the ad, and I don't worry about him too much. We have an interrupt rotation on it. I Seed of Corruption a little bit late here, but it gets onto the ads anyway, so it's not a big deal. Once I have all those, like I'm redotting during the time that those eyes are dying, and then I'm going to be putting as many UAs on as I can because I have that Wrath of Consumption buff up here. Very important, whenever you have this up, try to sink as much damage into the boss as you can, as it's a 10% increase in your damage. Here you just run back, you try to help him out. Somehow, Army's just a brewmaster, he can kind of just get out whenever he wants. My raid had the rest of them. You kind of want to be grouped with the range. I'm playing a little bit sloppy here because I know that I can survive anything. And also, I know that I can exit the bonds by myself with my damage reduction. So I'm kind of playing a little bit risky. Here you see me pop my hero buff a little bit too carelessly. I definitely could have gotten probably like one more second out of it. And then once again, I'm Seed of Corruptioning when the eyes are coming out. I'm making sure I have the one ad dotted up, and I'm pouring my damage into Gul'dan during my Wrath. You'll notice that I'm just ignoring the guy behind me because I know that he can just clear up by himself. And past that, I'm just sinking damage and doing the normal rotation and keeping my Agony, Corruption, and Siphon Life up. And constantly just doing my UAs. You'll notice I'm not putting too much in. 2 at a time if I'm below my 3 or my 4+ shards. Just making sure that I'm not getting shard capped. You notice I'm doing my Agony, Corruption, and then once again just sinking my UAs in. During these speed ups, I actually find that you get more value out of them if you're using lots of UAs because it's like a hero, right? You're generating more shards as well as doing more damage. So I always find it's a good thing to do, just to go for it. Make sure that in this phase and in the phase before, the Empowered Eyes of Gul'dan that start to come out are really, really easy and really good for UA Warlocks. And the reason being is you can dump all your UAs into the eye, and then it'll die fast enough that you can get all your UAs back. And if it's not dying fast enough, that means that the DPS in your raid are not prioritizing the right target. So for flames here, we always run them to the left towards Khadgar. I kind of let myself get a little bit smothered because I'm standing in the middle of it. But that's kind of, it's just, that was me being careless and not paying attention to the phase change. Usually I'll be on the other side or standing in the well to absorb souls, because as a warlock you can probably have around 5 to 6 before you really have any issues. You'll notice here I get ranged a little bit because one of the melee is going to drop their fire right there, so they have to move it out a bit. So I end up having to run all the way around, which ends up costing me a lot of damage. For here, this is something you can only do if you have a massive amount of HP, your healers are very, very competent, and you feel like you're going to kill the boss here, because this is extremely risky. But you'll notice that our entire raid pops damage reductions and then just stands in the storm. So we end up killing him during it. So Storm of the Destroyer, you usually want to run out of this. This is extremely, extremely gear dependent. Don't do this unless you're like you gotta have like 4 mil HP and your damage reduction, or you're gonna get wiped right there. So you'll see me, I get my little Flames of Sargeras, I kind of layer them on top of each other, and I just drain them out. This should be the end of the fight. We're ignoring the eye so that we can just DPS them down. We have enough stamina that we kind of ignore them. They nerfed the eye damage as well, so it's pretty easy this week. And that's it. That's a basic guide and point of view for Gul'dan, and I hope you guys learned a little bit. I can explain something better. Just leave a question in the comments, and I'll throw it down there what you should be doing at what time. And yeah, have a good day, and thanks for watching.